Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day, everyone. The Honorable my lecturer, Miss Wawat Srinawati SSMPD, and all of my beloved friends. Ladies and gentlemen, the presentation is about language learning and acquisition in listening and speaking skills. Before we start my presentation, let me introduce our team. I'm Yuliyani, the first speaker, and my partner is Chairunnisa, the second speaker. For the first turn will be given by me. Listening has an important place in learning as it is one of the four major skills in language acquisition, even though the other skills such as reading, speaking, and writing are essential to develop language proficiency. Listening contributes primarily for language expertise. Listening awakens awareness of the language as it is a receptive skill that first develops in a human being. Learning to listen to the target language improves language ability. The sound, rhythm, intonation, and stress of the language can only be perfectly adapted through listening. To understand the nuances in a particular language, one must be able to listen. As we get to understand spoken language by listening, it is easier to improve the other skill and gain confidence. Other than being the primary form of communication, listening helps the language learner to understand the beauty of the language. Especially in terms of communicative language teaching, it is said that the basis for communicative competence is listening as it provides the oral input and enable learners to interact in spoken communication, and his language learning largely depends on listening. Thus, listening form the concrete basis for the complete language proficiency. That's all for me, and we continue the explanation material by Chairunnisa.
The importance of listening and speaking in communicative language learning. Learning and speaking is the most significant part of communication as it is pivotal in providing a substantial and meaningful response, especially in learning language for communicative purpose. Listening plays a vital role. It helps the language learner to acquire pronunciation, word stress, vocabulary, and syntax, and the comprehension of message conveyed can be based solely on tone of voice, pitch, and accent. It is only possible when we listen without understanding input appropriately. Strategies for effective learning of listening and speaking skill. Listening strategies are techniques or activities that contribute directly to the recall of listening input. In the recent day, a number of listening strategies have been formulated to match with every different listening situation, and because of this, in teaching listening skill, the language learners are facilitated in getting just to their listening behavior to deal with a variety of situation types of input and listening process. Listening strategy can be broadly classified as top-down strategy and bottom-up strategy. Top-down strategy are listener-based. The listener relies on the background knowledge of the topic, the listening context, the text type, and the language, and they help the listener to interpret uh, the ideas he has listened. Top-down strategy are for the top-down strategy are for listening to the main idea, predicting, drawing inference, and summarizing. On the other hand, bottom-up strategy are text-based, where the listener uses linguistic knowledge to understand information. Here, the listener relies on the language in the message. This is the combination of sound, words, and grammar to arrive the final message. Bottom-up strategy are to concentrate on specific detail while listening and recognize word order pattern. Nah, okay, that's all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Conclusion and recommendation. To conclude, it can be said without listening skill language learning, it's impossible. This is because there is no communication where there is no human interaction. Also, listening is crucial not only in language learning but also for learning other subjects. But even today, with all the technological advancement in the field of education, learners have problems with listening. There are reasons. They spend too little time to improve their speaking skill. Uh, in in I'm sorry, inappropriate strategy preset on them in a learning setting may be an important reason for their poor listening comprehension. The problem also comes from the listening material and physical settings. To acquire high-level listening skill, more exposure is given to the learner with variety of listening comprehension. Knowing the context of listening text and the purpose of listening greatly reduce the burden of comprehension. Listeners can use both bottom-up process, linguistic language, and top-down process, prior language, to comprehend. Thank you.